Yeah, but Joe, this was the best Biden ever. Why is Joe Scarborough even concerned about this? It was the best Biden ever. This was his best version. So there was no indication of any kind of problem. How could you even know? The guy goes for at least a checkup every year.
Yeah.
At least one. And I'm sure the president has multiple, probably quarterly. They do a full scale, and then we just hear about one of them during the course of the year. Their doctors knew, and they're beating around the bush on that. The doctor knew, he knew, everybody knew, and they just kept it from us. And he just slipped up that once and was trying to blame his cancer on the soot in Delaware or whatever the deal was with. They had the oil slick on his windshield in the morning. Okay.
Yeah. And just to add to the evidence that he definitely knew, and a lot of people obviously knew behind the scenes, Pathead Jordan Unick says, I'm a medical coder specializing in oncology. In 8 years, I've seen one person with prostate cancer with bone mets, but lung cancer was their primary. Homeless men don't have as advanced prostate cancer that they are claiming Joe has. I mean, that's... Like to your point, this guy is under the watchful eye of doctors more than anyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no question. They knew. And they kept it from the American people.
Yep, a scandal, as Dr. Drew said.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's one after another with this guy. How many more are we going to hear about? Eventually, it's all going to come out, hopefully. But I love how they're pretending like everybody covered it up from us. So we had no way of knowing the extent of his problems. Really? We pointed them out every day. Yep. I mean, we didn't know about prostate cancer, obviously. We certainly knew about his mental decline. Everybody did. Jill Biden's aide, Michael LaRosa, he was her press secretary. And he says that the Biden family was allergic to transparency. He talked about the fact that they couldn't get a straight answer on anything out of anybody. When he was on Fox and Friends over the weekend, Rachel Campos Duffy asked LaRosa about her interview audio, specifically asking him how things might have changed if the Bidens had been successful in keeping the audio out of the public square, even after the transcripts were released. He said, if you only knew how hard it was. I mean, this was a group in the White House who were allergic to transparency. And I go back to and I'm just talking about like just the East Wing, the First Lady's office. I mean, the very first day walking into the White House, the usher was fired, and I couldn't get reporters straight answers because nobody would give me straight answers. It was not intuitive to them. It was just not their style to be transparent about anything. They took days and months to be deliberative. And I'm talking about the small things. And when the dog bites occurred, or about the wedding with the grandkids, they got caught lying to the press about press coverage because they were so scared to be transparent about anything. It's despicable what they were doing. And that's another good example of their lack of transparency, that they kept everything from us. The dog bites. We found out after the fact that, I mean, they said, oh, yeah, he's bitten a couple people a few times. It turned out to be, wasn't it 24 times? It was like 24 times. Mm-hmm. The dog had bitten people. And he was still there biting people until it finally came out and they finally got rid of the dog or sent him back to Delaware or whatever. Over and over and over we were lied. It's absolute treason.
It sure is.
It's not even a stretch to call it that now. Yeah. It's just treason.
Boy, and how does... never mind the American people, okay? But if you're Kamala Harris, how pissed are you right now? Man. You're like, I should have been president.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Summer of 2022.
Yeah, yeah. And, of course, the American people just looked the other way during the campaign because there were obvious signs then. And so they elected him anyway because nobody cares. They just don't care, apparently. You know who cared? Apparently, now at least, Van Jones. I mean, what Van Jones has been saying is really incredible. I mean, here is a former revolutionary communist by his own admission. And it's just amazing to hear these things from a hardcore Democrat. Listen to what Van Jones said about all this cover-up in the Biden administration.
Van, I remember how emotional you were in the immediate moments after the June 27th, 2024 debate because of what you saw on the stage. And with all this new reporting coming out, and I should disclose that I gave both of you copies of the book so you would have a little bit more information. Do you feel like you were duped, Van? Like, how do you feel?
First, this book is extraordinary. Okay. I don't care who you are, left, right, or otherwise. Anybody who cares about this country and about just the dynamics of power, this is the emperor's new clothes playing itself out in real time. Okay. Everybody knew,
we use that,
but everyone was afraid to say, except for David Axelrod, for 2 years, that something was wrong here.
Yeah.
And so, I was shocked. I love Joe Biden. I don't like him. I love him. I got a chance to work with him when I was a part of the Obama administration and loved him more every day. I was shocked to see his condition when he came out, and so was the world. And that wasn't the first time he was in that condition. The book makes it very, very clear. There are people who knew and said nothing. Yeah. And that is a crime against this republic. And I think the Democrats are going to pay for a long time for being a part of what is now being revealed to be a massive cover-up.
It is a crime against our republic. Yeah. Yes, it is. Thank you for noticing.